Hey guys, this is Rick.
And I'm Shane with Techspin.
And so we just finished watching this movie, Deadpool 2. It's really awesome.
Had an absolutely exciting time. I've been pumped up for this for weeks. Yeah. So, finally got a chance to see it.
Yeah, and the first one was like an instant classic too. I mean,
yeah.
So many good lines and scenes for that movie. So.
Well, I mean, I was really big into comic books when Deadpool came out. So like I've kind of been there since the beginning, and I just absolutely love this character. You know, straight off from his first appearance.
That's actually one of the very few comics that I read. I had like X-Men Unlimited, Spawn, and I saw a bit of Deadpool, and that was it for my comic book experience when I was a kid. By the way, this is obviously a no spoiler review, and so let's start off with the 4DX effects. What do you think about the chairs?
A little bit weak this time. You know, not a whole lot of chair movement. The back pounders were definitely there. I felt a fair bit of that, but just the actual, not a whole lot of synchronized movement with the film for the chairs.
I found that the Deadpool one actually had a lot more throw you around in your seat kind of action with more feeling to the chairs. It was better integrated, I thought.
Well, like at the beginning of the film with the whole like SUV flipping and all of that was very, very much integrated. And
obviously Deadpool 1, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree too, because the chairs. I mean, there's a couple of parts in the movie where the chairs tilted back or forward, and you kind of, if it was Avengers, you'd figure it was like a big reveal, or they're setting up for a shot, and it was just kind of just there.
Well, I mean, if we didn't knowingly go to 40X, I probably would have noticed it a lot more, going like, what, does my chair just move?
That's true, yeah, and we have been going to a fair amount of 4DX.
Yeah.
So, compared to like San Andreas or one of the Avengers movies or Justice League or something like that, I would have to say it was kind of subtle. I think maybe they took it from like the D-Box version of this movie. Because D-Box moves about half as much as 4DX does, unfortunately. So you don't, like, as I said before in the reviews, the D-Box version, you can't lose your popcorn. Maybe like you lose one over the side or something, but 4DX you actually have to hold on to your popcorn, otherwise you might lose the bag as they like.
Well, and I mean that was the thing.
It didn't happen in this one.
For example, when we went to go see, I think it was Justice League, and I had my drink, and I always had to time when I picked up my drink. It was like, oh, okay, just stop moving, and I'd take a sip and put it, put it down. But like even then, sometimes it'd be like, you're watching what's going on the screen, and you take a sip, and you're like, okay, don't put it down yet, don't put it down. But there you go. But there was none of that in this. So I never feared for my drink or my snacks.
Yeah. Fans, the air fans, not a lot.
Not a lot.
There was a couple of, like, open field things where like they're panning around a building or something, and you had a bit of fans kick on for a minute, or to assist an explosion or something.
No, the air jets on your face, that was that was pretty prominent.
They went a fair amount.
A lot of times in sync with bullets that were whizzing past your face or whatever. So,
that was cool. It was a good effect. Yeah, I like that. It was good. The back pounder, you said it was on a fair amount. Yeah, but I mean, still Deadpool 1 was more than this one. And
definitely.
Yeah. Foot jets. I forgotten that there were foot jets again. Yeah, but they went off a few times, and they get this by your feet. You're like, whoa. But it was good. I like that accentuated or made the film better with that. Smells, just one as far as I could tell.
Yeah, I didn't really notice anything.
It was like an explosion in a building or something, and then you kind of smell the rubble smell. Strobes.
Fair amount of strobes, actually.
Yeah. Because usually, I mean, most 4DX we go to, we'll see maybe one. Yeah. Maybe one. Some of the movies, like the last one we saw before,
there's quite a few. Like there's definitely more than 5 times that I recall the strobing effect.
Avengers had 0. Right, I couldn't count apart from maybe the opening sequence with Marvel. I think that had one flash or something, but that was it.
Yeah, I don't remember anything from Avengers.
Yeah, and no bubbles because Deadpool doesn't roll like that. So there you go.
Water jets.
Oh yeah, the water jets.
Yeah.
3 that I could count. maybe?
One very distinctive one, which actually was, again, going back to the first Deadpool movie, anytime there was any kind of blood spray, which to anyone who's seen the movie, it's a fair amount. You constantly getting blasted. It'd be like an air jet followed by a water jet. You get misted in the face, and like it actually got to the point of distracting. But in this, it was a lot less. So they weren't following all of the, like blood splatter or whatnot. Just like anything really significant that happened that would involve some kind of moisture in the film. And there's one very distinctive one. I'm not going to say what the scene is because that is a spoiler. But there's one distinctive one, and it was quite a big effect. And I just remember like, psh.
And usually the jets turn on is like a little bit of mist, but this one was like on for like a half second, so it's like
it was a lot of mist, just but all at once.
It timed
but it was timed so perfectly. Yeah. It was not distracting at all. It was perfect. It was almost going on like like a log ride or whatever, except instead of being completely soaked, it was just over the face, and it was perfect. It was. I have to say that was probably the best 40x effect for me for the night.
Oh, of the whole thing, for the water,
for the entire film. That one shot of the water was just perfect
because it timed in with the movie well. Overall, do you think this movie is good for 40x or not?
I would say that you're probably just better off going to see it in IMAX, to be honest.
It sucks too because I'm all for championing like immersive technology and enjoying the experience, and definitely there's some movies like Avengers, Captain America, where you got to go see it in 40x. It's just part of that experience if you can, or D-Box if.
Well, and you mentioned San Andreas and like that type of film.
Yeah,
like 40x is that was the film that they had in mind, I swear, when
they created it.
Yeah, let's make something that's completely immersive. Let's make people feel like they're in the film.
Yeah,
that's the kind of film that you're really looking at. Like the best experience is 40x.
Yeah,
but this film, I would have to say, not so much.
Yeah, I have to agree with you because I mean we did we always chat a little bit before these recordings to see like what we want to talk about, make sure we don't hit any spoilers, and also like our general thoughts so we can present a good show to you guys. And unfortunately for me it's the same way. I can't recommend this film in 40x. However, it's an amazing film.
Yeah,
just I don't think the extra, usually it's an extra $10 for us, so it makes it $20 to watch a movie. I don't think the $10 was worth it. I mean, the water effect was cool, and it did have other, but I can't recommend it. It's not.
Yeah, I'm hard pressed to.
Yeah. So there you go for 40x.
Definitely, especially if you're a comic book fan or absolutely a Deadpool fan, go see this film.
Yeah. It's still an amazing film. We're just saying that 40x.
But like I said, for 40x, you're probably just better off seeing it in IMAX and getting the full screen.
Yeah, if it's available in IMAX, definitely get that. That sounds good. All right, so let's get on to our movie part of this.
Directing.
Directing was done by David Leitch, who was the guy who did John Wick. He was half of the directors for John Wick, and I think he did a great job.
He did a fantastic job, and I actually recently saw him on in a cast interview with Build. If you haven't ever checked any of them out, they do some pretty good,
Build? What's that?
I believe it is Google property, where what they do is they'll do interviews with actors, directors, and whatever. A lot of times when a movie's coming out, they'll do a full or not a full cast, mind you, but they'll get a group of the cast, and usually a writer or director or whatever along with them.
Similar to what IMDb does they have their IMDb Live kind of thing. Is it similar to that?
Or a Google Talk, that kind of So what they'll do is they'll sit there and they'll have an audience. So the audience can take questions. They'll often do questions that they grabbed off of Twitter.
Okay, so they did this with David Leitch and
Ryan Reynolds.
Okay, so the question I need to know
Josh
is
Brolin, and they were all
there. So the question I need to know is, can you see this before the movie, or should you see it after the movie?
You can definitely see it before the movie. It is like a pre-launch interviews, so they're not giving away any details of what actually happens in the film.
Okay, so
they're just talking about what they did in making the film and what their experiences were like. And
all right, we'll try and drop a link for that below in the description.
But David Leitch was basically saying that when he was approached to do this film, he was very reluctant in the beginning to do it, taking on a very much loved property, and the fact that it was a sequel.
And also don't forget that this had been directed by somebody else for the first little bit, and then he took it over, right?
Yeah. But yeah, he was very reluctant in the beginning until he talked to Paul Wernick and Rhett Reese and Ryan Reynolds, and just kind of got a feel for what they were trying to do. And then he's like, okay, you know what, I can believe in this. They have enough behind it where I won't have as much of a problem getting my hands in there and worrying about making a mess of it.
And if you think about it too, the two properties are pretty similar too between John Wick and Deadpool, because there's so much action and guns and mayhem in John Wick, and Deadpool is very similar on some levels,
and they chose him for the intensity in his directing. That's what they wanted, and that's why they approached him.
And it comes through in the movie too.
Yeah, it really does. It really does. I think he did a fantastic job. Any concerns he may have had, he can lay to rest, because I was really, really impressed. The action sequences in this film are incredible, but it doesn't lose anything in story or character development.
Speaking of which, the writing team was Rhett Reese, Paul Wernick, and Ryan Reynolds. They all worked on the story together. Was the story strong enough? What did you feel?
I definitely, I can't say anything about the story except for the fact that, number one, surprised. I was definitely surprised. Even the things that about the story going into it, you kind of have that certain, this will be predictable or that'll be predictable.
Some expectations or something.
Really, they didn't lose anything in story development.
Yeah, well, Deadpool, itself is kind of atypical anyways, but the good thing is, you see a couple characters on the poster, but you can't predict the whole story from that, which is nice.
Well, and that actually gets into the trailers, because a lot of times trailers spoil certain parts of the movie, and I would have to say I don't care how many trailers you've seen for this film going in.
It spoils nothing.
It spoils nothing. It gives you a feel for what the movie's going to be like, but it doesn't tell you anything about the story and the way it actually unfolds. So
I totally agree with that.
Really, good job to whoever it is who cut those trailers together.
Speaking of the editing and stuff, the cinematography was done by Jonathan Sela, and wow.
Yeah.
Some really amazing shots in this one. Very memorable.
Yeah.
So, how you had the highway scene in the first movie. That kind of...
Yeah.
There's a couple of shots which were really well done. And, of course, we can't mention. But, yeah.
But just, even the choice in camera angles for a lot of those scenes is just really, really daring, and,
And there's some gripping scenes, and also one or two unexpectedly emotional scenes that I was not, because you kind of figure Deadpool's all action and comedy together kind of thing with bullets and blood, but there is a couple of scenes that were unexpectedly wow, hey, this is deep.
And again, it's not too formulaic the way it all plays out.
Yeah, that's true. Which is nice. So Josh Brolin, coming from Thanos.
Yes. I have to say I loved his performance in this.
He was really good. I really liked it.
There's something really, really good about the way you have that dynamic of comedic and straight man. And he's got his own funny lines, but he plays the perfect straight man. He just
very excellent delivery and performance and staying in character.
His timing is fantastic, and again, anyone who's done any acting, you kind of have to give some credit to the director and definitely credit to the writers. But even still, if you don't have the timing, it shows.
I would kind of compare him to I don't want to compare actors so much, but he reminds me a lot of Dennis Quaid in his in his delivery and charisma on screen. Although Josh Brolin kind of puts that next level.
Yeah, he's just got such an amazing presence about him.
And very down to earth. We saw him on Graham Norton. And that was really awesome too. Ryan Reynolds. Yeah. So, of course, he's the Merc with the mouth. He does a great job this time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, I swear he's born to play this part.
Made for this role.
Yeah.
I liked the fact, they didn't change it too much. There is some changes, like the way he does a couple of things, I guess you could say, are a little slightly different from the first movie. Yeah. It's more of the same, but a little different. But,
well, again, you see character development, I think is what it is.
Yeah, thank you. That's what I was looking for. Yeah. Morena Baccarin, she's actually third on the IMDb, but she actually doesn't play. There's not a lot of screen time for her in this movie.
Yeah, definitely not as much as there was in the first film, but I don't think in any way that takes away from her necessity to the story. You know, like she is definitely a plot vehicle.
Yeah, yeah. And definitely, plays a large part in the story.
Yeah, it's just very, very, very important. Bang on performance.
Yeah, really great.
This Vanessa is the Vanessa that you knew from the first one.
Zazie Beetz, Domino. How'd you like her in that?
Amazing, actually.
Yeah.
Domino and Deadpool were pretty much introduced at the same time.
Oh, in the comics, you mean? Right?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know that much about Domino, but I know that she's been around a little while, but she's actually more like black white, like painted on kind of.
Yeah, I mean, there's a bit of a negative to the color, but like really, in all honesty, I don't think that was ever an important detail. I know when she was first announced to take the role, number one, she wasn't hugely well known.
Yeah, I mean, she's been, was it Van, her character Van on Atlanta, which is a TV series.
Which was, at the time, I think she played the character very, very well.
Brianna Hildebrand, that's right. Negasonic Teenage Warhead, yeah. I didn't know that she's Verity on the Exorcist TV series. I had no idea. Really?
I actually, I haven't seen it, so...
Neither have I. Yeah. So how was she in Deadpool? What do you think?
Fantastic. I think she is like the queen of subtlety. She's so really, really good at deadpan delivery and, just really small facial reactions that say so much.
Yeah, yeah. Nice performance by her.
Yeah.
Dupinder.
Karan Soni?
Yeah, I think that sounded right, yeah. He was also in Office Christmas Party as Nate. And if you haven't seen that, that's an excellent movie.
Yeah, it's really, really funny. It's actually up there with one of my favorite Christmas movies of all time. So,
and he was also on the Goldbergs TV for a few episodes as well. Really different.
Yeah, movie. Just they took his character in a completely different direction, and really good, really funny.
Still a taxi driver.
Yeah,
but different direction this time.
Yeah,
and it was good. Good for his character. I like that.
Yeah.
There was a cameo. I gotta mention this because I didn't know. So if you know, then maybe you'll see it.
We won't say who it is, but just kind of keep an eye out and see if you can spot him.
Well, I mean, you can see it on IMDb, but it doesn't say who it is.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say.
All right.
Brad Pitt's in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
Bill Skarsgård. He's the son of. The real life son of Stellan Skarsgård, who you might know as Dr. Selvig in the Avengers. He's in this. And
brother to Alexander from True Blood.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah.
He was also in Allegiant as Matthew, and he played the clown at Pennywise in It. What?
Okay.
That's pretty crazy. T.J. Miller as Weasel. Reprised his role nicely.
Yeah. T.J. Miller is really funny. Also in Office Christmas Party as well.
Oh yeah, that's right. He was too. Yeah. He did a great job this movie. Yeah, I figured in Deadpool 1 he was a bit more prominent, because as they were building up Deadpool's character and the interplay between him and Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the other thing too is, as far as the new cast members of this film go, there's enough of them where, in order to give anybody any screen time, you kind of have to shuffle things around a little bit. And
yeah, but it was still, his scenes were good. I like his scenes.
Yeah, especially since like this is going to be a lead-in. The next film is expected is X-Force.
Yeah.
So they kind of have to spend a little bit more time developing some of the newer characters for the next film. So
that'll be good. Terry Crews.
You know what? I love Terry Crews. He's always funny.
Yeah, he was good in this. He was good. Again, we won't say too much because Rob Delaney is in this as part of the X-Force band.
Yeah, very funny.
Yeah. And you've already seen him, that clip in the trailer.
Yeah.
It was like, yeah. Julian Dennison. He's the boy.
Yes. He plays Russell. Pretty big focus in the story.
Yeah, on him. Yeah. He does a really great job because often with a cast like this with its members, it all relies on having the right amount of dramatic tension and also the interplay between characters.
Yeah, the chemistry between characters and actors is really, really important. And I think, there's nobody in this film that stands out to me that, kind of says, well, that could have been done better, or.
But definitely, I think if his character would have been a weaker character, I don't think I would have enjoyed the movie as much. He did a great job, very good job. And there's, some scenes where you're just like, especially if he didn't carry it the way he did, or if he didn't react the way he did, you wouldn't feel that the same thing you do for.
He was in the Hunt for the Wilder People.
I've not seen that.
I actually haven't seen it either, but it was directed by Taika Waititi.
Oh, it's Thor.
Thor Ragnarok. Yeah, same.
Cool.
Same director.
All right, so that's on my list now.
Yeah.
Louis Tan as Shatterstar. As I was researching this, I found out that he is the Joe Cheng. He's the drunken master in the Iron Fist, and if you haven't. Say what you say about Iron Fist, that one episode was amazing. I love that battle. Oh my god, I love that battle. It was so good. And also Gaius in season 3 of Into the Badlands, which also we haven't seen.
We're not there yet.
Season 1, we're still season 1.
Yeah, we just started watching it.
No,
but it's a really, really good show so far.
Yeah. Great, really great acting that first.
And of course I think they're right in the middle of season 3 now.
Yeah.
So yeah, we have yet to catch up.
No spoilers, please. We'll catch up real soon. Let's list a couple more. Jack Casey, Eddie Marsan is in this as well. They have some bit parts going on. Shioli Kutsuna, and actually her name is really Shioli Katsuna. Yeah, and they reference her as Shioli.
Yeah. And actually, I gotta say, very delightful character.
Yeah.
Not the type of character you would expect.
Yeah.
But it just really adds a nice sort of balance to all the personalities
and also brings a bit of levity to the show. For those who don't know, she's actually the voice actress from Xenoblade Chronicles on Wii. She is Melia, Japanese. And also Luna Freya from Final Fantasy 15 Kingsglaive, the animated, of course, in Japanese as well. So this is, I guess, one of her first. I don't say her first, maybe, but one of her first American big roles. But she does a great job. Yeah. Blind Owl.
Leslie Uggams.
She made the first Deadpool for me, and
she really did. That character is hysterical.
And she does a great job here too.
Yeah,
really.
She definitely didn't forget anything, in the time between films. Because
I'm laughing because I'm remembering a line and also a sight gag.
Yeah.
That they did. I can't say anything more because you gotta just see it. Guys, do yourself a favor, don't see the spoilers. I've already seen that there's some spoiler things. Don't see that. Go see the movie first, then enjoy the spoiler thing that they talk about online. But she was in Roots 1977.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Also made a few appearances on The Love Boat for anyone old enough to remember that. And
Magnum
also,
PI.
yeah, had a part on an episode of Magnum PI.
And here's my excellent spelling here. She's also doing Lee Walker on Empire, the TV series that's current right now, or like that. Yeah, yeah, and Haley Sales is in it too. She has a kind of not very prominent but important.
Yeah.
And last but not least, of course, is we can say Colossus is in it. Yeah, Colossus is in it. Stefan Kapisek. Hopefully, I'm saying that right. He reprises his role, and he's like the same kind of interplay that they had in the first movie. Is
but actually
on another level here.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's so good.
Definitely, there's a fair amount of character development for this character. So,
which is nice because we haven't, in all the X-Men movies, we haven't seen a lot of character development for him. Like he was in the one where Wolverine and they have the ice wall and stuff, and you see him, but he's not in this metal form, and we're fine, save the kids, like that.
And some more really cool fight scenes out of him too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And he's actually on a TV show right now. He's on Counterpart as Lieber. So I have not seen that, so maybe check that out in a little bit.
No, but that stars J.K. Simmons, for anyone who's a fan.
I'm a big Simmons fan after seeing Spider-Man. Anything that man does. Yeah. All right. So 4DX, not really worth it this time. If you want to check it out, there are some good effects in it, but overall, not really worth it for 4DX. Go see it in IMAX.
IMAX is probably the best option because even with the 4DX, one important distinction, it was not 3D.
Yeah, it's not in 3D. It's 2D plus effects, so it's like 2DX, I guess.
2.5.
2.5x. I don't know. What are you gonna rate the movie? You went first last time. I should probably go first this time.
Okay.
All right. Yeah.
Sure. Right. Why not?
It's hard for me. I like Deadpool 1. Does this suffer the sequel curse? No, I don't think so. I think this was on par or better than. Of course, the original character development of Deadpool becoming the character isn't there, so therefore it could be seen as weaker. But then again, his character does undergo development in this movie.
Yeah.
So I probably have to say a 9 and give this one a 9. Not as good as Infinity War. I really, really liked Infinity War. It was a great movie. I definitely recommend you go see it.
I think I'm actually going to give this movie a 10, which does not happen often for me, but number one, everything in the story actually surprised me in that they kept very, very true to the spirit of the comic books, which all these characters came from. So, at no point did I ever see something that went, that's not how I imagined that.
And for what I know about Domino and Cable both, and I do know a bit more about Cable and his interactions and stuff, I really like the way they portrayed these characters, the way the actors did these characters. Yeah. And overall, the flow of the movie and the pacing was really good.
Yeah.
For me, I called you on this last time. I was like, you took off a point, so what's your reasoning behind it? I felt like they could have set up something else, and they do a bunch of lines in the movie, and I felt like they could have. Deadpool is the merc with the mouth. I get that, but he doesn't always need to blah 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 blah. Like, is a little bit too much. I wish the pacing. I wish they could have gone on to something new or changed the location. Or it's a small nitpick, but at the same time, if you compare it against other movies or something like that, I feel. So you say 10, and I'm feeling it's a 9 for me. But it was still an excellent movie. I enjoyed it. I'd say I'd probably give the first Deadpool also a 9.
Yeah. I do actually. I want to address this because I've seen other similar formats do this. To address your nitpick, this kind of goes to if anyone's ever seen Groundhog Day.
Yep.
And, you know, one of the biggest nitpicks that most people had about that film was there was a certain point where it's like, oh my God, again? You know, and that's actually the whole point of it. And, you know, Deadpool being the merc with the mouth and he never shuts up actually kind of annoys everyone who works with him or everyone who goes against him. Because just no matter what they do, they just cannot get the guy to shut up. You know, so if that's your nitpick, then I think, you know, that kind of reinforces my 10 in the fact that, you know, they delivered that in the absolute spirit of that character.
I do agree. And, you know, he has some really great lines in this. And they do a shout out to a previous X-Men. And they fix a little, you know, something like that. But overall, yeah, really great movie.
Yeah,
you should go see it for sure. Definitely avoid spoilers, please, because you will appreciate this movie for that. So yeah, I think that's about it for this episode.
Yeah, I fully endorse this movie. That's all I gotta say.
Cool. All right. Well, I'm Rick, and this is Shane. And please do subscribe.
Yeah, and click that bell icon for notifications.
Yeah, I think you have to actually click on like be notified whenever we post new things, because otherwise YouTube has changed it like Facebook now. Thanks, YouTube.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll definitely do reviews on upcoming movies, and we have more content coming out later this week.
Yeah, leave us a comment if there's anything else that you want to, you know, see us cover. We'd love to hear from you.
Please, no spoilers in the comments. Thank you very much. We'll try and monitor that too, but do everyone a favor, let them enjoy it too.
Yeah.
Thanos demands your silence.
Oh, that real quick point. If you follow either the Russo brothers or at Van City Reynolds on Twitter, there was a little bit of a jab on that, where for the Deadpool promo, they kind of rewrote the memo that the Russo brothers put out about like Thanos demands your silence. Ryan Reynolds on his feed had posted this Deadpool version of the Thanos demands your silence letter with like a few minor edits, and the Russo brothers responded. The response is just as hilarious. Like it's worth looking at.
Okay,
it takes like, you know, 2 minutes out of your day, but
I'll have to check
it's worth it.
Cool. All right, so thanks again for tuning in. I hope you have a chance to go see this movie and enjoyed it like we did. And please do subscribe.
Yeah, thumbs up if you like it.
Thumbs up, please. Thank you very much. And we'll see you again really soon. So, bye for now.
Take care.
Bye.